Welcome to our GE13 coverage. Today we'll be taking a look at one of the key swing states, Sabah, that is home to over 40 different ethnic communities. Sabah has the third largest number of parliamentary seats in Malaysia with 25 seats and is traditionally seen as a vote bank for BN. Now in 2008, BN won 24 out of the 25 parliamentary seats but was left with 22 seats after local party SAPP broke away. Now let's take a look at what some notable figures there have said in the past.
A school bus replanning to have the plan for the school bus have to be approved by Kuala Lumpur. Print a checkbook used to be done in Sabah, now in Kuala Lumpur. We can even do a multi-story building. One point, school bus also go to Kuala Lumpur because our people start with the mindset, everything have to refer to Kuala Lumpur.
Has not been implemented. Never been implemented, and that's why we feel that the government, the federal government, diverted from the original intention of Malaysia.
Looking at Sabah getting its fair share of development, Sabah, there's no reason for Sabah to be the poorest state. There's no reason for it. But why is it? Again, a lot of our political leaders talking about autonomy. I don't know what exactly they have in mind. But to me, political autonomy is meaningless unless you have financial autonomy.
Now joining us live from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah is our correspondent Aidila Razak, who is a journalist with Malaysiakini. Hi Aidila, maybe you can start off with telling us some of the key issues in Sabah and how the political environment there is quite different from the peninsula.
Hi Family. Regarding the issues in Sabah, most of them are actually very local issues. So there's about 4 issues that are always coming up on the campaign trail. That will be Sabah autonomy, security, and that ties into the illegal immigration issue, as well as land. That land means native customary right land. So that goes to native rights and also the issues of faced by the indigenous community in this warrior state. In terms of how it's different from the Semenanjung, I would say that it's a bit more quiet here as far as political campaigns are concerned. There are no mega rallies. Most of the dramas are in small areas, small groups of 100, 150. And really the issue is very localized. It's about Sabah's future and less about the future of Malaysia.
So you talk about one of the issues being autonomy. What does that actually mean? What are the different parties they're saying?
So when they talk about autonomy, they're talking about the 20-point agreement. That is a kind of like a base point where everyone's talking about the 20-point agreement. The agreement that was signed by Sabah when they joined with Malaya and Sarawak to form Malaysia. So it seems like the opposition parties are trying to tell Sabahans that this agreement has not been upheld and that they are now being colonized by Malaya instead of being equal partners. So that's the issue of autonomy is about getting Sabah to actually decide on things that matter to Sabahans and not just be subservient to the federal government, which is seen to be Malayan government instead of a Malaysian government.
So this autonomy, are all opposition parties talking about it, including Pakatan, or is it mostly local parties like SAPP and STAR that are pushing for this autonomy?
All of them are talking about it, although in different degrees. I think what we need to recognize is that they sit on a different part of the spectrum when it comes to issues of autonomy or the future of Sabah. So on the most radical side, it's STAR, which is looking at not exactly getting away from Malaysia, still staying within Malaysia, but looking at changing the way that Sabah will be administered, meaning that there will be equal partners and Sabah is a country within a federation. And then there's SAPP, which also talks about the 20-point, but not in that radical sense. And then there's Pakatan, which is more federally, of course, because they're a federal coalition.
Now, looking at the momentum of the election campaigns of both sides, which one is more hot, which one's more cold, who's got more support?
It's hard to say, in fact, because as I said, there are no huge rallies that we can kind of gauge from. things are very localized, very small. When you talk to people on the ground, everyone's saying, "Oh, in Canada," but really, it's for one thing, they have to choose between Pakatan Rakyat or LPP or STAR, or even the independent candidates. There's like so many of them, and at the same time, when we go to the end rallies, there are also a lot of people there. But these people are wearing BN shirts, so you don't know whether they actually are party people or actually locals, right? When you speak to some of the people in the towns that BN has gone to have this mega rallies, for example, in Kuala Lumpur, earlier this week, when Prime Minister Najib was in town. So the same people who were in the BN rallies will tell you later that, oh, I went to get 30 ringgit or 20 ringgit and I put on the BNP shirt, but in fact I don't really support them, I went for the concert. And so, it seems to be opposition leaning, but I'm a bit pessimistic.
How did the Lahad Datu intrusion affect voters there? When you speak to people on the ground, when they talk about the Lahad Datu crisis, do they think, BN's to blame or Pakatan's to blame? How is that affecting how they're going to vote?
I think what Lahad Datu is interesting because people are reluctant to relate the Lahad Datu issue to their vote. When you ask them how will it affect their vote, they don't really want to discuss that. But when you talk about Lahad Datu proper, they'll tell you that, oh yeah, the government says that Pakatan leaders like Anwar were meeting some people part of the election, etc. But they don't really believe that. They don't believe that story. Of course, both sides are using it as campaign material. On the BN side, they're saying that one, it shows that the federal government has not abandoned Sabah, and that Sabah is very much a part of Malaysia. We have contributed our forces and people from the peninsula have died, and their names have been rattled out, and the places where they're from, they're saying that people from Pasir Mas have died for you, people from Klang have died for you, people from Besut have died for you. So how can you say that the federal government has not the federal government and people from Malaya have abandoned Sabah? But at the same time, on the ground itself, people are also saying that maybe this happened because so many of these illegal immigrants are here, people are getting in and out very easily. So, both sides are hitting on it, but in terms of whether this will be the deciding factor for the vote, it's hard to say because people don't really want to talk about it in that sense.
How well are the member parties of PR and BN kind of individual parties working together?
The one thing that we have to recognize is that PKR is contesting most of the seats in the interior. So there are not many seats where all the opposition parties are contesting, say, one state seat. Say, for example, there are not many parties where many seats where PAS is contesting the seat, the state seat, and DAP start contesting the parliament seat. So it's hard to look at cooperation in that sense. They are kind of divided geographically. But in areas where they are in the same place, like in Kota Kinabalu, which is very urban, I see them working together, say, for DAP and PAS, the candidates at least, but not so much for PKR, except for Api-Api, where the PKR candidate, Christina Liu, is working very much together with the DAP candidates who are mostly contesting Kota Kinabalu. I understand that PAS and DAP are also working together in the eastern side, in Sandakan and also in Tawau, where some of the PAS candidates are also contesting state seats. But by and large, it's not as strong as we see in the peninsula. It's usually a one-party show. Compared to the BN, it's a lot different for BN because they have been together for a while here. So they have more experience, and really there is no kind of division that people see between the BN parties. They all campaign for under one logo anyway.
Okay, let's talk about one of the hot seats though, which is Keningau, where brothers Jeffrey Kitingan and Pairin Kitingan are facing off for the second time. Jeffrey, of course, being the leader of STAR, which is a local party, and brother Pairin Kitingan was a former chief minister. Now, last time around 2008, Pairin won. Why do you think this face-off is happening again? Is it getting personal, or what have you heard based from voters there? What do they think about it?
The brothers will tell you that it's not personal, and yeah, I believe them, it's not personal, it's politics, right? And even though they vote on opposing sides, you don't hear them saying bad things about each other and about a personal attack. It has been very much about policy and about whether their parties can serve the people better or not. In terms of whether the younger Jeffrey can actually win this time around against his elder brother, I think he has made inroads. Let's put it that way. You see a lot of star flags flying around there, and then if people are actually looking to vote opposition, they'll be voting star there and not PKR who's contesting there as well. But again, the institution is Hu Gongxiao, Prime Minister Hu Gongxiao, who's the paramount leader of the Kedah Muslim and Murut community. That institution is still quite important, even though people are a bit more daring to criticize that. He does have that up his sleeve.
When you look at the sentiment on the ground, is there any kind of ethnic line that divides them in terms of politics?
Well, I think I get different vibes from that. There are some people who say that they will support if they're Muslim and they're Bumi Putra, they will support Bumi Muslim and Bumi Putra parties. But because BN is contesting under one banner, they will support BN candidates. If they support UMNO, they will support BN candidates. It's not so much a racial thing per se. More than that, actually, it's more a family thing. I noticed in one area that I went to, basically the candidates are people that all the candidates have contested before are people from that kampung or from that area, and they have known these people from young, and they are related somehow. Everyone's related, so it's more a family thing rather than a racial or ethnic thing.
But with that situation, though, what kind of campaign strategies do you see being employed now? Are there any different kind of campaign strategies from the different parties, or are they kind of similar? You talked earlier about it's all kind of small scale, but are there any differences between how the different parties are reaching out to constituents?
Oh, they're actually very similar. In terms of how they move, they're very similar. All of them are moving in small groups, small campaigns, small dramas, door to door, no mega rallies, and the message is kind of the same. Those four things are appearing in all the speeches everywhere. Just a different take on these four things. Of course, BN has more resources. They are quite open about using state resources here, and they're not shy about it. And they use it to the maximum. They've been going around with huge events and concerts and all that, so people come. But really, whether or not these people vote for them,
It seems very hard too. If all parties are talking about the same four issues, as a voter, how do you really choose? Do they kind of feel like they're talking about the same thing?
I think, at least in urban areas, people are looking at splitting their votes. They're looking at federal coalition for parliament seats, and then they're still considering how to vote in terms of state seats. So really, it depends on who will actually present a solution which is more palatable for the locals. I think for in the interiors where things might be a bit more difficult, water issues, land issues, ice issues, things that they are facing a lot more problems there. People might be keen on voting SAR if they want to vote opposition. But again, when life is hard and at the end it's coming around getting lots of things, then that's appealing too.
Right. Let's talk about the Suhakam report on the land rights of natives that was recently leaked. Now, if this was really to be published, to be made public, do you think it's going to affect voters there at this point in time?
The only affect voters is the opposition actually bring it to them. I haven't heard it at all on the campaign trail, except when Mr. Siang came over. No, he's from the other side, from West Malaysia, so for him maybe it's important, but here you don't hear it much. Of course, these are issues that people already know. So if they are unhappy about land rights, they will already be unhappy about land rights, right? They don't need a Suhakam report to confirm that. So I don't think that there will be a huge impact unless the opposition will capitalize on it and harp on it. But I haven't heard on that yet.
Okay, and finally, what can we expect in the week to come?
I'm hoping that, actually, I noticed that there are more dramas happening. Although it's very quiet here, even if they are democratic, but there are more and more happening in public. So maybe there'll be a bit more kind of excitement about the election in Sabah. Anwar is also coming around on tomorrow actually. So we'll see whether he would actually kind of bring this message of change to Sabah, and whether he would actually convince people that it's a federal fight, not just a state and local fight.
All right, thank you, Aidila.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Aidila Razak there joining us live from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. I'm Tamli Tianmei, and stay tuned to KiniTV for more reports in the run-up to polling day. And in the meantime, please do like our Facebook page for latest news.